Good evening. I'm here about the room.
Oh, it's just through here.
Of course.
Do you want to come in and have a look?
Yes, thank you.
I think I got your letter, didn't I? Was it spattered with blood?
I'm sure that was paint. From my hobby, you see. Of painting.
Oh, all right then. Well, the room's just this way if you want to have a look. I'm afraid I've been using it for some of my work stuff, but I'll clear it up.
Whitechapel. I too am a fan of its twisting alleyways and dark corners.
Well, I've actually been hunting a murderer.
A murderer?
He's vicious, he is. Sucks the blood from their necks.
Sounds delicious.
Delicious?
I mean barbaric. Yes, that English is still a struggle.
Yes, truly barbaric, and I must catch him. But all I have to work with are these clues as to what places he's been.
Have you considered extending your search?
To where?
All of Europe, say.
Europe? Crikey, I'd have to get Interpol involved on that one. Alright, so I guess just a few more questions. Your name?
Count Matula.
Why does it keep doing that? Never mind. Do you have any pets?
No. But I have been known to turn into a wolf or a bat when startled.
Alright. One last question. Which is greater, Letters from Whitechapel or Fury of Dracula? In Letters from Whitechapel, brave police officers pursue a vicious and elusive murderer across the streets of London's East End.
Fury of Dracula is the story of an innocent vampire pursued across Europe by 4 merciless hunters.
One player is Jack the Ripper, and on each night of the game he will slaughter a white disc. Slaughtered. After the slaughter, he'll attempt to run back to his hideout before the police can catch him.
Dracula is on a nice tour of Europe. He just needs to avoid being shot, beaten, stabbed, or spending too much time on a boat before the game ends. But he can speed up that victory by leaving his mark on the cities he visits and maturing some new vampires.
On each night or round of Letters from Whitechapel, Jack will murder 1 or even 2 victims, and this tells the police exactly where Jack was at the beginning of the night. But each Bobby starts in a fixed position on the board, so they'll have to run over to the murder scene to try to pick up the scent.
I cannot smell anything.
Go away, weirdo. Meanwhile, Jack is writing down the numbered spaces that he's moving to each turn. And the police can search for clues around them. When they do this, each numbered space next to the policeman is checked with Jack until they find a clue, a space where Jack has been.
Why are the clues little yellow discs? Is Jack a dog marking...
No! Now the chase is really on. The police are more numerous and they can block Jack's path, but they don't know where he's going. And this secret, combined with a couple of special moves, is all the edge Jack needs to make it back to his hideout safely.
Dracula's hunters have a far greater challenge to deal with. He could be anywhere. Each turn, he'll play one of these location cards into the track on the side of the board as he moves to that city. Only by visiting one of the cities in that track will the hunters discover that he's been there.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this vampire?
This monster!
You know him.
Know him? I will never forget him.
Why not?
He said my onion soup was too garlicky. But Dracula will also play some special encounter card to that city. Quite likely some devilish trap for the investigators to fall into. Like this flock of bats. No, I said bats. Whatever, it's a tough life being a hunter. Of course, Drac might sneakily leave a vampire behind.
If this vampire reaches the end of the line without being found, it will mature, scoring Drac a bunch of points and bringing him closer to winning.
Letters from Whitechapel doesn't bog itself down with points and crazy actions. It's just Jack needs to get back to his hideout and the police just have to arrest him. But of course, Jack's hideout doesn't move, which means that each night the police can narrow down the area where Jack's hideout is, and that results in a final turn that's a heel-to-toe chase. Instead of searching for clues or moving, a policeman can choose a numbered space that they're next to and make an arrest on that spot.
Spot? You're sure it is not a dog?
Yes. If Jack is there, the police immediately win the game.
You mean your police officers don't have to concern themselves with 2 types of train ticket when moving quickly across the map?
No, of course not.
Or a night and day phase where you can only do certain actions at certain times?
Why would they have that?
And Jack just comes quietly when you point threateningly in his direction?
Oh, yes, what else do you need?
Well, what about a multi-layered car-driven combat system? When you finally do track down Drac, or just one of his children of the night, you must fight. Both players gain cards. Drac from his deck of powerful and scary abilities, the hunters just some basic reactions, plus any items they've managed to purchase from cities earlier in the game.
Each player in the fight will choose a card to play in secret and then all reveal. If the hunter targeted by Drac has a symbol on their card matching the attack type that Drac plays, then Dracula's attack is completely cancelled.
Of course, the best defensive cards won't do much damage, so each card you play is a really exciting gamble. You're trying to get inside Dracula's head.
It rewards careful play on the map too. One hunter is probably going to struggle, so you ideally want to bring multiple friends to the fight.
Plus it can be even more dangerous to attack at night rather than in the morning, before Drac has had his coffee.
No, combat sounds like a terrible idea.
It's exciting! You get these 2 or 3 climactic moments during a game. You'll damage Drac, he'll escape. You'll scramble to contain him and trap him again.
It sounds overcomplicated.
It's symbol matching.
Which actually benefits experienced players because new players won't know what symbols are in the deck, which means they'll be going in blind.
Yeah, fine. But they'll soon learn to respect Count Matula. I mean Dracula.
Besides, you'll probably get practice fighting the smaller vampires Drac attempts to mature before you face down the big guy.
More nonsense stuff just cluttering up the game.
It is more, but it's more interesting decisions for the hunter. Do you go to the city you know Drac's been to stomp on his offspring, or do you focus on the chase? It might just be a trap.
You know, Letters shows that you don't need all that extra stuff to make the game interesting. The deduction process alone is engaging enough. All the extra stuff in Fury of Dracula just adds to the game length.
That is not true.
You're telling me it doesn't take twice as long to play that?
Well...
I'm saying it adds more to the experience. Fury of Dracula feels epic.
The larger scope, the greater stakes, all these elements combined create special moments. Unexpected problems to solve and opportunities to exploit. At the end of a game of Fury of Dracula, you feel like you've been on an adventure, whereas Letters from Whitechapel feels like you've solved a puzzle, or not.
Even if that grand adventure is most of the time just spent taking stock.
Maybe you'll move during a day phase, but there'll be plenty of times instead that you'll want to draw items and get a known event type.
Which means staying over in a city for 2 turns, because apparently no one can travel at night.
Europe's scary in the dark.
You know, night phases are really annoying, especially later in the game when you're all tooled up and ready to keep moving. Having to jump through the awkward round structure, just for the sake of it, merely adds to the length of the game even further.
Hey, it's always worth digging up some new train tickets.
Oh yeah, so thematic. Excuse me, sir, could I please have a random train ticket? Crying out loud, has no one heard of Interrail?
Yes, Fury of Dracula is ridiculous. Yes, it takes 4 hours to play. Yes, it's worth it for that wonderful story.
The story where Dracula always wins, right?
Not always.
Just most of the time?
Maybe.
Especially with an experienced Dracula player at the helm.
Whoa, that's the nautical terminology. He doesn't like the sea.
That's not to mention the fact that Drac can just start in a corner of the board and hide there while the hunters run round in circles.
So it's unbalanced,
Makes victory all the sweeter.
it's ludicrously long,
That's right, ladies.
and it's overcomplicated.
Deep?
No.
Fine. Whereas Letters from Whitechapel is dry to the point of abstraction, and none of it makes any thematic sense.
Why is Jack leaving a trail of breadcrumbs behind him wherever he moves? Why would you just randomly arrest a section of street?
But there's still the broader theme, hunting down the murderer, figuring out where the hideout is. It all builds to a grand tension in the final rounds as it all comes to a head.
Okay, fine. Let's try a different tack.
What?
Look into my eyes. You are feeling very sleepy.
Must sleep. Wait, I remember. Oi!
Letters from Whitechapel wins the Golden Grater.
So, did I get the room?
No.
Oh.
But I do have something for you.
Oh.
Just wait there. A steak, you murderer! Thanks for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that. There'll be another couple of Witches Graters coming out very soon on the channel, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out. Matt will be back in non-bat form very soon. Although there is such a thing as too soon.